Let's start real quick. Let's change this to 28. Okay, close, and I want to open this in Chrome. Okay, so yesterday we looked into the CSS transitions and basically adding this keyword WebKit transitions. Let me open this in Notepad. So we looked into transitioning where we can use cubic base here or linear or ease in ease out type of styles to target a particular style of that element and then manipulate or make it a little bit beautiful. Like the good example that we looked into was creating a class called animate transition and then use that class anywhere we want, and we added that to this footer. I think I removed it from the HTML, but you can basically add it and then the styles will get added. Okay. Today we are going to look into the final version of animation, and it is known as CSS keyframe animation. Okay. What is keyframe animation? This defines the time frame for our animation. How exactly an animation works is basically, guys, it's like this. Like you have a time, right? You got a timeline, and let's say the timeline starts from 0 seconds to 60 seconds. Let's assume that, right? That means it's a 1 minute animation. Now, if we divide this into, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. If you divide it into 6 equal parts, right, we will end up like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We get 6 frames, right? If we divide this 60 seconds into 6 equal sections, or we call those sections as frames, and let's say so we can animate between these two between these frames, right? Like let's say you have letter 1 on frame number 2, then on you change it to 3, then you change it to 4, then suddenly you change it to A, then B, and then finally C, right? So how animation in real world works is basically you take a timeline, you basically take some time frame, right? I'll show you a good example here. Okay, let's see this guy. I don't know. So this guy, I don't know if you can look at this clearly. The one in the bottom, when it comes to hold on, let me. Can you look at the keyword which says Maya 3D? Come on, this guy has the keyword where it says Maya 3D animation and modeling tutorial. There is behind that there is a timeline at the bottom, and at each timeline, they define a style. They define an animation. See, like right now, he's saying key it at line number 1, and then he will rotate it, and then he will key it at time like after like 2 seconds, so that when he moves, that it will animate basically. So what he's exactly doing is he has like 60 seconds, and then each second is divided. I don't know if you can look into this. If I don't know if you can look at that. It says like 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 right here in this area. That is his keyframes. And during those keyframes, he is changing those values so that it will rotate from 0 to 360. Right? In the similar way, any animation, how it works is you have 60 seconds, like 0 to 60 seconds, and always time starts from 0. So you divide those 60 seconds into equal parts, and in my case I have divided it into 6 equal parts. Now each part is called as frame, okay, and then I basically place a key, and in this case it is 1, and then I'm changing the key to 2, and then changing to 3. So when the time when I run this, when the time starts from 0 to 60 seconds, you will see that first 1 came up for a couple of seconds, then it went away for 10 seconds, and then it went away, and then came 2, and then it goes away after 10 seconds, then comes 3, so forth. So this is how the animation works in real world. Kind of similarly, the CSS keyframe animation works the same way, right? You define your keyframes, right? In this case, my keyframe is basically 0 to 60. So you define your keyframes, and then it will animate based on that. So this defines the time frame from our animation, and syntax is basically like this. You say keyframe, then define our animation, define the name of our animation, and then basically enter. Now I want the animation to happen from 0%, right, to 100%, and this keyframe will animate from 0% to 100%. Then we specify the animation name, and we get this name. We'll take this name, like this, and then we say animation duration. Now this duration is what 60 seconds is, right? So now in this case, when I'm saying 0 to 60 seconds, the animation duration is what I'm talking about, and then each keyframe is each keyframe here for like 10 seconds. So what I'm saying is animate from 0 to 100%, and the duration is 60 seconds. That means it will automatically divide it into equal parts. If I say only 50%, then it will take up only 30 seconds. and then it will stop the animation right there, right? And if I say 25%, it will quarter the 60 seconds, meaning by 4, whatever the value comes to. 60 by 4 is 15, so it will stop at 15 seconds, right? So this is how we define it, and then let's see how to do that in action, right? Let's say I want to keep on animate this DMV new license form, right? I want to animate it. So what I'll do is I'll check for main heading and I'll remove this hover state first. Save it. I'll go back, refresh. Okay, it's working. So now what my idea is, it should keep on animate up and down, right? It should keep on animating up and down. So what I'll do is I'll create and create a keyframe animation. And to do that, the keyword is keyframe, then a name to my animation. I want to name my animation as up and down. This guy will animate from 0%. At 0%, I want this guy to have top as 20%, because initially, what is that, main heading, initially I said it to be 50% when the element renders, right? But I don't want that. I want to say, like, at 0% you need to be at 20%. When you reach 50%, I want to make the top to be 50%, and then I want at 100% come back to top 20%. So what will happen is, it will start from the top, it will start from somewhere here, then it will come down here, and then it will come back at the top. And this animation will happen for some seconds, right? So what I'll do is I'll capture that main heading element now. Let me take this guy out and then write it at the very bottom, right? I have to remove this top 50% now, because it will conflict with my animation here, right? And then here I will say minus WebKit animation name, and the name is up and down. Okay, copy, paste, 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 MOZ Opera MS, and then finally the fallback, right? And then I have to say the duration, right? Animation duration, copy, copy, paste, paste, paste. Okay, and then I want to animate it for 6 seconds. Seconds, 6 seconds, and then 6 seconds. Okay, let me save it. Now let's see what happens. Okay, I don't see that element at all. So let's see what went wrong. Boy, I'm not good at animation, I guess. Okay, this guy, it is taking the up and down, but it is not It has taken the up and down, but it is not running this animation. So the keyframe is not working here. Do I have the syntax correct? I keep on forgetting. Keyframe. Yeah, okay, at the rate of keyframes. Yeah, my bad. See, the rate of keyframes. Let's see. At the rate of keyframes, name, and then I got this. Then why it is not working? Oh, set 5 seconds. I did the same thing, right? I mean, keyframes, name, then I added that. Then I said WebKit animation. Oh, it's not animation name, it's animation. Yeah, guys, sorry, my bad, my bad. It's animation. Save it. The heck? It is still not taking it. Maybe it's the name. They cannot have hyphens. Got the animation at the rate of keyframes. You got the name. Then why it is not taking it? I say animation, animation should work. Then we got animation duration and all that. Right. You define the keyframes. Okay, let me try this. Should really not matter, but let's see. Okay, copy this, paste this. Huh. Why it is not taking it? I got the div with position, got the main heading with position, opacity set. I don't need the opacity. Hold on. Is any there? Is any style conflicting? No, I don't have any style. So I got this animation. You got the name here, and then you got the style. I got it right. It's wrong. Oh yeah, okay. But still, I don't think. Am I saving the file first of all? Save, save, save. Go back and animate. Let me add top 20% by default. Okay, let's see if I say 6s here itself. Nope, I don't need to say that. I can always say 0 to 100% and it should work. Twenty-eight style 28, 28 style 28. So this guy is taking the style, right? And I am saying minus WebKit animation spelling is correct. And then this infinite should not make any difference. Oh, maybe because of this. Let's see. Control paste here. No guys, it's not working. Why? So I got my styles. I have my position in place and then I write this animation. So let's say I copy this guy. Right, let me copy this style. I just cannot use position relative. Now you're saying to use keyframe animation my move. Okay, copy that, go back here, comment this guy out and paste it. Is it because of the pixels? That would be weird. Yep, it is because of the pixels, not percentages. Okay. So right now I have 20%, but instead of saying that, I need to say some, I don't know, 200 pixels. And this changes to 500 pixels. And then it comes back to 200 pixels. 0 to pixels, 500 pixels, 200 pixels. Let's see. And that is super weird because 0 to 100%, always worked. If it's simply from, oh, okay. I think I found out the problem. Hold on. Okay. I found out the problem. The problem is there is no semicolon, there is no colon here after 0, 50%. See, there is no colon. So that's why it was not taking that style. I really hope this will work now. Yep, got it, got it, got it. Let me fix this and then take out these colons. Yeah, it's completely my fault that I did not pay attention to that. Okay, so what we are trying to say is on page load when you're at 0%, be at 20, but then come to 50% and then go back. Right? This will happen only once. The animation will happen only once, and after that the element goes away to the top. To it's because we don't know its original position. So if I simply say its original position needs to be top 20%, and then what will happen is it should be at 20%. So if I scroll down and if it will animate, go back, and then it will stay there because its initial position after the animation is 20%. That's what I'm trying to say, right? You can also say instead of 6 seconds like this, you can say duration. Okay, if you take this guy out, take this guy out, take this guy out. Okay, and instead of saying animation, say duration. Replace, 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 replace and replace, and take this guy out, take this guy out, take this guy out, take this guy out, and finally take this guy out. So if I say animation and then give out the keyframe name, you don't even actually need this guy, honestly speaking. You can simply have keyframes like this and then it will work also. So at 0%, be at 20%, at 50% of my animation, which is 3 seconds, at 3 seconds you need to be at 50%, and then when it is at the 6th second, come back to 20%. The top is what I'm trying to say, the animation, right? And the duration I say 6 seconds. So when I say 6 seconds, the animation will put it like this and divide each into keyframes, right? And then those frames are animated automatically. So the calculation from 20% to 50% is automatically done by the browser. We don't need to calculate that, right? So if I save this, go back. Come on, duration is, I am forgetting my syntaxes. I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's animation. Yeah, see, I remembered it being animation name, not just animation, hyphen name, then refresh. Did I save it? Did I take care of this? Yes, I did. What is duration, man? Animation duration. God, I need to wake up. Okay, and then we also have an option of specifying if we want to have a delay in the animation. Similarly to the transition, it will wait for like that many seconds, and then it will uh, it will execute the animation. And then finally we have this counter where right now it's happening only once. You see, it is happening only once. If I don't want that, if I want it to keep on animating, so I'll be using this iteration counter. Copy, paste, 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 paste. MOZ, Opera, MS, and then final fallback. So this will animate for 3 times. And then it will stop. That's it. Because we said it to animate to 3 times. Right? So the syntax of keyframe animation is 0% and 100%. And then we basically add the animation by saying key animation hyphen name, its duration, and then we also can say animation iteration count. This will say how many times we will want to animate like this. Okay. Another way of saying the keyframe animation is from to. Okay. I can say from, there is no colon. I'll simply say 20% to, no colon again, and then simply say top as 50%. If I save like this and if I run it, let's see what happens. It will go from this to this, but then it will jump back because we are saying it in one direction. We are saying it that do one thing from point A, go to point B. So this is going to be a linear animation because it's going to be one way animation. It will go from the top 20% to top 50%. So when we are dealing with from and to, we need to be very careful when we are dealing with the animation count, the entire animation. This is my least favorite because I hate this kind of animations. I stick with this guy because this gives us the flexibility to animate from one point to point B. I mean, I can achieve this from to in this also if I take out this 50% and then I simply say like this is nothing but from to, and it will animate the same way. right? It is going to animate the same way. So if I say 50%, or better yet, if I say 25%, right, reach to 50, and then at 75%, I want to stay there, and then finally come back. What I'm saying is, for the first 15 seconds, you need to animate from 20 to 50%. Now, for the another 15 seconds, you stay there, and then finally the 15, not even 15 seconds, this is 30 seconds actually, right? This is 30 seconds. Now for the next 30 seconds, stay there, and then the final 15 seconds is going to come back. So if I animate this, it will quickly come back here. It will stay there for like 3 seconds, and then it will come back. It will stay there for 3 seconds, and then it will come back. It will stay 3 seconds and then come back. This is the animation I would like compared to from and to, because from and to will not give us the flexibility to come back or to do something else. I mean, you can say like, left is 25% here, okay, when it is 0%. Now at 25%, it is at left 25%. Now at 75%, I want to get it to left as 0, and then finally left at 25%, right? I can try that. Or so what will happen is, it will at the end, it will diagonally animate, like it will come down here, it will go up, and then diagonally come back to its original position, like a triangle, right? If I want it to come back to its original position rather than coming to diagonal, I'll pick up the 50%, and here what I'll say is, copy this, paste here. I'll say at 50% come to 0, and then back at 75% come back to 25%, and save it, and then run it. What will happen is, it will come down, go left, then come back, and then go up. So this percentages will give me the power of animating. Now if I look closely, this 75% and 25%, this 0% and 100%, they share the same style. So what happens if I say like this? What happens if I say like this, and I take out these styles? So at 0%, top 20%, left 25%. At 25%, top 50%, left 25%. At 50%, this is the styles, 50% and 0, and then they follow back the same. Let's save this and see what happens. It comes down, it goes left, it again comes back, and then it comes back to the top. So this animation holds good. So rather than writing all those lines, I can animate like this, right? Similarly, instead of writing these many lines, I can simply say animation, right? And the first is the name of that keyframe. Next comes the duration, and then finally the count. This is what the syntax is. Okay, and then I'll say for MOZ, I'll say for Opera, and then I'll say for MS, and then final fallback. So I don't need to write all this. I can simply write it in single lines, and then when I save it, it will run. Right? Now, I don't want to animate this for 3 times. I want to keep on animating it indefinitely. So that keyword is infinite. And when I say infinite, it is going to keep on animating. Endless. So the second. This is the third. It will animate again. Fourth. It will keep on animating. Okay. I'll repeat again. Actual animation concept ఏంటంటే మనం ఫస్ట్ సెకండ్స్ ని డిఫైన్ చేస్తాం. ఓకే, అండ్ ఆల్వేస్ మన సెకండ్స్ స్టార్ట్స్ ఫ్రమ్ 0 అండ్ దెన్ టు సమ్ ఎండ్ వాల్యూ. ఇప్పుడు ఈ ఎగ్జాంపుల్లో మీ ముందర ఉన్న పెయింట్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్లో నేను 60 సెకండ్స్ అని తీసుకున్నాను. ఓకే, ఆ 60 సెకండ్స్ ని మనం ఈక్వల్లీ డివైడ్ చేస్తాం. మీరు అన్ఈక్వల్లీ కూడా డివైడ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు, కానీ అది క్లీన్ ఉండదు యానిమేషన్. అదేమో ఇట్లా అన్కంఫర్టబుల్ యానిమేషన్స్ ఉంటాయి. సో అందుకే టు అవాయిడ్ దట్ ప్రాబ్లం మనం ఏం చేస్తామంటే దాన్ని ఈక్వల్లీ డివైడ్ చేస్తాం. సో వెన్ ఇన్ దిస్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నేనేం చేశానంటే నేను 6 ఈక్వల్ ప్రపోర్షన్స్ లో డివైడ్ చేశాను. సో ఈచ్ ప్రపోర్షన్ కమ్స్ టు 10 సెకండ్స్. ఓకే, సిఎస్ఎస్ భాషలో సారీ యానిమేషన్ భాషలో ఆ ప్రపోర్షన్ ని ఫ్రేమ్స్ అంటారు. ఓకే, వి కాల్ ఇట్ as ఫ్రేమ్స్. ప్రతి ఒక్క ఫ్రేమ్ లో మనం ఒక యానిమేషన్ డిఫైన్ చేస్తాం. ఇప్పుడు ఈ కేసులో ఏమన్నానంటే ఫస్ట్ అది ఉంది కదా ప్రపోర్షన్, ఫస్ట్ ఫ్రేమ్ దాంట్లో వాల్యూ వచ్చేసి 1 ఉండాలి, నెక్స్ట్ ఫ్రేమ్ లో వచ్చేసి 2 ఉండాలి, నెక్స్ట్ ఫ్రేమ్ లో వచ్చేసి 3 ఉండాలి, అట్లా అన్నమాట. సో ఏమవుతుందంటే ఫస్ట్ 10 సెకండ్స్ లో వాల్యూ 1 ఉంటుంది, నెక్స్ట్ 10 సెకండ్స్ లో వాల్యూ 2 ఉంటుంది, దాని తర్వాత 10 సెకండ్స్ కి వాల్యూ 3 ఉంటుంది, అండ్ సో ఫోర్త్, అట్లా అన్నమాట. సిమిలర్లీ మన సిఎస్ఎస్ లో వచ్చినాక మనం సేమ్ కీ ఫ్రేమ్ యానిమేషన్ యూజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఎట్లా అంటే దానికి సింటాక్స్ మనం @ కీ ఫ్రేమ్ అని పెట్టాలా, అండ్ దెన్ కీ ఫ్రేమ్స్ s ఉండాలి. యాక్చువల్లీ దిస్ ఇస్ ద సింటాక్స్. @ కీ ఫ్రేమ్స్ అని చెప్పేసి ఆ కీ ఫ్రేమ్ కి ఒక పేరు ఇవ్వాలి. డిఫైన్ ద నేమ్ ఫర్ అవర్ కీ ఫ్రేమ్ అంటాను. ఓకే, ఒక పేరు ఇవ్వాలి కీ ఫ్రేమ్ కి. దాని తర్వాత దాని లోపల మనం చెప్తాం అమ్మా 0% అయితే ఏం చేయాలా, 100% ఉంటే ఏం చేయాలి. సో we will basically say 0%. You can always say 10% also, or better yet you can say 10.5% or 11.2%. It's up to you. But again, if you say like this, what is happening is you're doing an unconditional animation, like it unpleasant animation. మీరు ఈక్వల్లీ డివైడ్ చేయట్లేదు ఇప్పుడు 11.2% అని చెప్తే, రైట్? ఇప్పుడు నేను ఇక్కడ 60 సెకండ్స్ అని రాశాను కదా, 60 సెకండ్స్ అంటే 0 నుంచి 11.2% అంతే ఎంత అయింది 60కి. సో 60 into 11.2 divided by 100. సో ఫస్ట్ 6 సెకండ్స్కి వచ్చేసి 6.7%. అది కూడా 6.7%కి వచ్చేసి ఏదో యానిమేషన్ అవుతుంది, అంటే ఆ యానిమేషన్ అవుతుంది అంటే క్విక్లీ జంప్ అవుతుంది. లైక్ ఇప్పుడు ఈ యానిమేషన్ కదా వెనకట్ల ఈ పైనుంచి కింద రావడానికి, అది ఇక్కడ క్విక్లీ ఇట్లా జంప్ చేస్తుంది. చేసిన తర్వాత దాని తర్వాత ఇది యానిమేషన్ ప్రొసీడ్ అవుతుంది. దిస్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు బి సమ్ అన్ఈవెన్ యానిమేషన్. సో you will never see this 11.2 kind of, because it's not equal, right? If I say 10%, okay, if I say 10%, that means people are expecting, I mean, to have a smooth animation, I need to say 20%, then say 30%, 40%, 50%, and so forth. ఓకే, మీరు ఎంత డివైడ్ చేయాలనుకుంటే మీరు చేసుకోవచ్చు, కానీ ఈక్వల్లీ డివైడ్ చేయండి. And the animation always starts from 0% and it ends at 100%. Always. If you want to, you can end it in 50%. It's up to you, right? But you cannot have 150%. That is wrong. The animation stops at 100% always. Not even 101. It stops at exactly 100%. You cannot go beyond that. You can come between 0 and 100%, but you cannot go beyond 100%. So మనం సింటాక్స్ ఏం రాస్తాం అంటే @ కీ ఫ్రేమ్స్ అని రాసేసి మనం ఒక కీ ఫ్రేమ్ కి ఒక పేరు ఇస్తాం, దాని లోపల మనం ఈక్వల్లీ డివైడ్ చేస్తాం. నాకు అంత పేషెన్స్ లేదనుకోండి, నాకు అంత పేషెన్స్ లేదు ఈ కీ ఫ్రేమ్ ఈక్వల్లీ డిఫైన్ చేయడానికి, నేను సింప్లీ ఏం చేస్తానంటే 0 to 100% అని చెప్పేస్తా. దాని లోపల నాకు కావాల్సిన స్టైల్స్ నేను రాసుకుంటా. ఇట్ కెన్ బి ఎనీథింగ్. It doesn't need to be like, same in this case, like top and this one. Like for example, this case on 25%, let me say I want to change the font size, right? I want to change the font size to 70 pixels. You can try that, but you will end up like this, right? I can animate absolutely anything, but you need to make sure that whatever you're animating or whatever properties that you're writing, it should please the user. I mean, right now when I'm looking at this, I know it's doing some sort of animation, but I'm not liking it, because suddenly it's getting bigger and then it's reducing its style and all that. So I'm not liking it, right? So keep in mind, when you're animating one property, it is always nice to stick with that property. Okay, and we say 0%, there is no colon, by the way. It's simply 0% what animation should happen. At 100%, what animation should happen. ఓకే, అది అయిపోయినాక లాస్ట్ లో మనం ఒక యానిమేషన్ నేమ్ అని ఇస్తాం. ఆ నేమ్ లో వచ్చేసి మనం ఈ కీ ఫ్రేమ్ కి ఏం పేరు ఇచ్చామో అది మనం ఇక్కడ పెడతాం. అంటే ఆ ఎలిమెంట్ కి మన ఆ కీ ఫ్రేమ్ యానిమేషన్ పెడతాం. లైక్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఈ కేసులో నాకు సెక్షన్ కి ఒక యానిమేషన్ ఇవ్వాలి అంటే, సో నేను ఆ సెక్షన్ ని టార్గెట్ చేసి ఈ మూడ్ స్టైల్స్ దాని లోపల రాస్తా, లైక్ దిస్. అప్పుడు ఏంటవుతుందంటే ఈ సెక్షన్ కి ఈ కీ ఫ్రేమ్ యానిమేషన్ అసైన్ అయిపోతుంది. సో విల్ సే యానిమేషన్ నేమ్, ఆ కీ ఫ్రేమ్ పేరు ఇక్కడ పెట్టేస్తాం. దెన్ మనం డిఫైన్ చేస్తాం ఎంత డ్యూరేషన్ ఏంటి అంటే 0% అంటే 0 నుంచి స్టార్ట్ అయిందండి. ఈ 100% 60 seconds అయిన అన్నమాట. ఓకే, ఈ 100% వచ్చేసి ఈ 60 seconds అన్నమాట. సో యానిమేషన్ డ్యూరేషన్ నేను 60 seconds అని చెప్పానంటే 0 నుంచి 60 seconds అన్నమాట. అండ్ దెన్ ఫైనలీ కౌంట్ అని చెప్తాం. కౌంట్ ఏంటంటే ఎన్నిసార్లు యానిమేషన్ చేయాలనుకుంటున్నాం. నేను ఇక్కడ వచ్చేసి 3 అని రాశాను, మీరు 4 రాయొచ్చు, 10 రాయొచ్చు, 99 రాయొచ్చు, 2000 రాసుకోవచ్చు, లేకపోతే ఇన్ఫైనైట్ అని రాసుకోవచ్చు. ఇన్ఫైనైట్ రాస్తే అది ఇట్ విల్ కీప్ ఆన్ యానిమేట్ indefinitely, forever. My suggestion for you guys would be not to use from and to. Okay, from and to is linear animation. I mean, it will do it only one way, and it is kind of not good practice, you can say. You can use it, but my advice for you will be not to use it. You stick with zero and percentages like 0% and 100%. Okay, clear? I'll repeat again, in this time in Hindi. जैसे की फ्रेम्स एनिमेशंस होते हैं एक्चुअली, एनिमेशंस में क्या होता है कि हम लोग सेकंड्स डिफाइन करते हैं. ओके, दैट इज द फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट थिंग कि पहले टाइम डिफाइन करो कि भाई कितना क्या है, तुम्हारा टाइम ड्यूरेशन क्या है, क्योंकि 60 सेकेंड्स का एनिमेशन अलग होता है, 2 मिनट का एनिमेशन अलग होता है. तो ठीक है, सो किसी भी एनिमेशन में हम पहले टाइम डिफाइन करते हैं. अब इस एग्जांपल में मैंने 60 सेकेंड्स बोल के मैंने मेरा एग्जांपल लिया है. अब उस 60 सेकेंड्स को हम इक्वली डिवाइड करेंगे. इट हैज टू बी इक्वली. द रीजन बीइंग, अगर मैंने अनइक्वली लिया है तो क्या है, एनिमेशन थोड़ा इनकंसिस्टेंट रहेगा और यूजर को है ना वो पसंद नहीं आएगा एनिमेशन, क्योंकि एक फ्रेम में कुछ हो रहा है, फिर सडनली दूसरे फ्रेम में कुछ हो रहा है, विच इज तो मतलब ऐसा है कि फ्रेम 1 से फ्रेम 2 में फटाफट एनिमेशन हो गया, बट फ्रॉम फ्रेम 3 से लेके फ्रेम मतलब 10 तक वो एकदम स्लो एनिमेशन करेगा. तो क्या है कि हमको मजा नहीं आएगा, राइट? सो टू अवॉइड दैट काइंड ऑफ प्रॉब्लम हम लोग उसको इक्वली डिवाइड करते हैं, परफेक्टली इक्वली. सो इन इन मेरे केस में मैंने क्या किया है कि मैंने उसको 6 इक्वल सेक्शंस में डिवाइड किया है, एंड ईच सेक्शन 10-10 सेकंड का है. ठीक है, मैं सेक्शन बुला रहा हूं, बट एनिमेशन की वर्ल्ड में उस सेक्शन को फ्रेम बोलते हैं. ठीक है, एक एक फ्रेम 10-10 सेकंड का है. ठीक है, अब उस फ्रेम में क्या वैल्यू डाल रहा हूं मैं, उसको की बोलते हैं. सो यहाँ पर की है 1 सेकंड, 10 सेकंड जो दूसरा 10 सेकंड है उसमें की है 2, तीसरा जो 10 सेकंड है उसमें की है 3, राइट? सो इन सब कॉन्सेप्ट्स को अगर मैं जोड़ू तो उसका नाम है की फ्रेम एनिमेशन. और जब टाइम चालू होएगा तो 1 से 2 में ट्रांजिशन होगा, फिर 2 से 3 में ट्रांजिशन होगा, ऐसा स्टाइल्स बदलेगा, राइट? और जब वो स्टाइल्स बदलेगा तो मुझे एक अच्छा अपील आएगा और एक एनिमेशन आएगा. सो उस पूरे कॉन्सेप्ट को की फ्रेम एनिमेशन कहते हैं, और वो सिमिलरली हम CSS में भी अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, राइट? और उसका सिंटैक्स क्या है कि हम पहले बोलेंगे @की फ्रेम्स s, और फिर हम उस की फ्रेम का कुछ नाम देंगे. पहले पहले हम लोग की फ्रेम डिफाइन करेंगे, मतलब ईच फ्रेम में क्या होना का है, क्या होना चाहिए, वो हम डिफाइन कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, वो पहले हम डिफाइन करेंगे. और उसमें कैसा लिखा है कि भाई ईच फ्रेम मतलब 0 से लेके 100% तक, मतलब इस पूरे में मैं कह रहा हूं कि इस पूरे में 0 से लेके मतलब ईच, उसमें बोलने की पेशेंस नहीं है मुझ में. तो मैंने क्या बोला है कि तू एक काम कर, तू ही समझदार है मेरे से, तू ही ऑटोमेटिकली डिवाइड और डिफाइन कर ले. बट जब 0% रहेगा तो मैं एनिमेशन कुछ डिफाइन करूंगा, जब 100% रहेगा तब मैं कुछ और एनिमेशन डिफाइन करूंगा. ये मैंने कहा है इसको. तो ये मेरा टोटल फ्रेम हो गया, और इसमें मैं अपने स्टाइल्स डिफाइन कर दूंगा. अब वो की फ्रेम को मुझे यूज करना है तो मैं एलिमेंट को टारगेट करूंगा. टारगेट करके मैं उससे बोलूंगा कि भाई take the animation name is this keyframe name, and then I'll put it here. और फिर मैं ड्यूरेशन डिफाइन करूंगा. देखिए, नेम एंड ड्यूरेशन, बाय द वे दिस एनिमेशन नेम एंड ड्यूरेशन आर मस्ट, आर needed. If you don't have those, then animation will not happen. These two are mandatory. Iteration count is up to you, it's optional. Without that also it will animate for one time, default. But having the animation name and then animation duration is important. ठीक है, तो एनिमेशन नेम बोलूंगा मैं और फिर ये की फ्रेम का नाम जो भी है वो मैं डालूंगा इधर और फिर मैं ड्यूरेशन डिफाइन करूंगा 60 सेकेंड्स या 50 सेकेंड्स या 100 सेकेंड्स जो भी है मैं वहां ये ड्यूरेशन डिफाइन करूंगा. ठीक है, एंड देन फाइनली द काउंट. और एक पद्धति ये है कि मैं सिंपली एनिमेशन बोल दूं और फिर मैं इन सबको मर्ज कर दूं. सो डिफाइन द नेम ऑफ आवर की फ्रेम. दिस इज की फ्रेम. ठीक है, फिर स्पेस ड्यूरेशन. ड्यूरेशन इज द नेक्स्ट वन एंड देन फाइनली द काउंट. या तो मैं ऐसा लिख सकता हूं या तो मैं ऐसा लिख सकता हूं, मेरी मर्जी, कोई किसी भी तरीके से मैं लिख सकता हूं, दोनों काम करेगा. एंड व्हेन आई से दैट what it will do is it will animate from 0% to 100% within 60 seconds and then the animation will take place. And that's exactly what's happening here. Okay, that's exactly what's happening here. अभी हो सकता है कि ये 6 सेकेंड्स मेरे लिए बहुत ज्यादा है, तो मैं अगर उसको 1 सेकेंड कर दूं तो फटाफट 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 एनिमेशन होगा. చాలా ఫాస్ట్ గా యానిమేషన్ అవుతూ ఉంటుంది. because it has to complete that entire animation in 1 second, right? So if I increase this to 10 seconds, I am increasing the timeline, right? So timeline now is divided into equal parts, 100 equal parts, meaning each part is going to be around like 1 second each. So this will come here, then go to the left, then come back and then go to the top. This entire thing takes 10 seconds. So this is how we define our keyframe animations. Does anyone have any questions? Asal in the concept. Did you understand this concept of keyframe animations? Right? So we have looked into transforms, 2D and 3D transforms. We have looked into the transitions where you simply have one set of transitioning from hide to unhide or increasing the size, so forth. And then the third type of animation is this keyframe. We can also do the transitioning or transformations into this keyframes. All you need to do is inside this 0 to 100% you need to specify what type of animation you want. Usually like in yesterday's example we dealt with opacity, right? I can do the same here. So by default the opacity is 1, right? And all I simply say is, hey, do this. When it is 0%, your opacity is 0. When it reaches 50%, change your opacity to 1. And then when it is 100%, change back your opacity. I can say this, or I can also say like this, and it will take longer time. So if I save like this, let's see what happens. It will animate like this. Right? And it will turn off because I said at 100% the opacity is 1. But if I say 50% is 1, and then back at 100% is 0, it will, what I'm saying, it's circle it back. Meaning you started with 0 opacity, you came at 1, then again at 0. So when the animation repeats itself, 0 and 0, they match, and it will be a cleaner animation. So if I save it like this, go back and refresh it. Now let's see. It will animate like this, and then it will go back to opacity 0 with an animation, and then it will come back again, and it will go back again. Right? I mean, 10 seconds is too much. Let's say I want to change this to 2 seconds. So from 0 to 1 second, it will come back to opacity 1, and from 1 to 2 seconds, it will go back. So the animation will be faster, like a heartbeat. So this is the concept of keyframe animation. Clear, guys? Did you guys get it?
Shrikar, I have a question. We can give the multiple properties as well, right? Like top, opacity, background, everything.
Yeah. Totally up to you. I just showed you with the font, right? I can always, okay, I can do this. Top starts at 50%, but then at 50% of my animation, change the top to 20%. So it will go up. So what will happen is, it will start with 50%, but it will, when opacity comes to 1, when you're visible, when you're able to see the element, it will go on the top. And then when it is hiding, it will come down. It will do that kind of animation. So let me save it, go back, and then now you see it. It goes like this. So you can say multiple animations. Now if I say left, right, it starts with left 25%. And here I said, you know what, let me make it to top as 0 and then left as 0. So it will go diagonally. Right, it will go to diagonal animation. So I don't know, you know what, let me change it to 20% only, and then save it. It will go diagonally like this. It's totally up to you. You can have whatever transitions, or you can have whatever element style that you want to animate to. It's totally up to you. You can add whatever you want. Even those styles which are not here, like the font size. Initially, the font size is I don't know, 14 pixels, for example. Now I want to change this to 70 pixels. Okay, I can animate that. It will work. So when I'm animating these from 0 to 50 and back to 100%, and my animations are infinite, meaning it is keep on looping. If that's the case, then I don't need these 3 styles in the actual element, because my animation keeps on looping itself, right? It will keep on looping. It is not going to stop anywhere, right? We want to define, when we say animate here, like when we define styles here, this is the style when the animation stops. When we say infinite, the animation is not going to stop. It is going to go indefinitely. So that's why this style, writing these styles, is kind of pointless, because it will keep on animating between these values. Clear? Does that answer your question, Sirsha?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Clear, guys? Okay. That being said, comes the animation. Sorry, what I'm saying, not animation, assignment. Okay. Get the latest code, and inside 10/28/2016 create a folder under your name. Okay, now create a new HTML and a new form. Okay, basically what I'm asking you to do is, up until now what we have learned, including animations, CSS, HTML, everything, indentations, everything, create a new form, create a new HTML with a new form. Okay, with a new form. You are not allowed to use the existing forms, the existing fields. I don't care. I don't care what elements you put, or I don't care what or how do you put your HTML. Okay, I simply don't care. I want you to add a form. Okay, it can be any form with any fields, not only first name, last name. It can be anything. Okay, it's totally up to you. So create a new form with a new create a new HTML with a new form. Okay, and with whatever fields you like, whatever fields you like. I don't care what it has. Okay, just follow the same structure. If you're not following the same structure, I will mark it as incomplete. Okay, and when I say structure, you should understand by now what I'm talking about. Okay, you need to follow the Trinity structure. You need to follow your indentation. You need to follow the guidelines for the CSS and everything. Okay, now create two CSS files, styles.css and animation.css. In any company, you will look in this way. You will be having a separate styles.css file, and then you'll be having a separate animation.css file. Now at this point, everyone knows how CSS sprites work. Everyone knows how you put a background image. Okay, so create two CSS files, styles.css and animation.css. Now styles.css should have the static styles. Animation.css should only contain animation specific styles. If I see any static styles, when I say static, I'm talking about these kind of styles. If I see this in animation.css, that is wrong. I'm not going to accept it. Animation.css should only contain animation related styles. Alright, you can target that element however you want, but it should contain only animation specific styles. Okay, your example must have a background image. Get any image from Google Images. Okay, I don't care what you do it, get it from the Google Images. it should have a background image. Now make sure that the content is animatable. It is animating. Okay, I don't know what is animatable spelling is. Come on, spelling change to, okay, animated. Make sure that some content, okay, make sure that the content that some content is animating. Okay, next is user is able to read / see the content, meaning if you have an image which is black in color for the background, and if your text is black in color, I'm not able to see it, right? That is should not be the case. So user is able to read and see / see the content. That should be your main goal. And then finally, all three types of animation is captured. I don't care how do you do it, but you need to make sure that both 2D, 3D transforms, the transition, and the keyframe animation, all the three are captured somewhere, right? When you, I don't know, when you hover over this icon, it increases its style, its size increases. So you're saying on hover, transform 3D, and then you're saying, you know, scale in X and Y direction or in Z direction. So it's totally up to you how you animate it, right? So it's totally up to you. You are free to choose IDs and classes, but keep it clean and short as much as possible, meaning merge the code, the repeating code together. I don't want to see the repeating styles again and again. Okay, and finally, and wow me. Tomorrow there is no class. We will meet again on Sunday, and Sunday everyone will be showing their styles. And I see that most of you guys don't attend the classes. Right now I see there are 20 students, but out of these 20, only 10 or 11 guys show up. It is your own loss. I'm not going to say anything. If you want to move forward, then I would suggest you do these these assignments. Clear, guys? Any questions? You need to get the latest code, and in 1028 create a folder with your name, right? Inside that I want to see a new HTML from scratch. Write an HTML from scratch, and it must have a form, some form with whatever fields, I don't care. Okay, now we have discussed the animations, so you can animate this label also if you want to, like this. I don't know if you're able to see that. It's totally up to you. Okay, make sure that you have two CSS files. One is styles.css and the next one is animation.css. Animation.css should only have animations. It should not have any static styles. Whereas styles.css will have any static styles. It should not have animation styles. Okay, your example must have a background image. background image to the form, background image to the body, totally up to you. You have seen in the last class how different students have, you know, wowed me basically with their background images and the styles and whatever. It's up to you. Do whatever you have to do. We also discussed about pixels, EMs, percentages, right? You can use all of those concepts, put it here, and then, you know, basically do something different, guys. But you need to capture three main important things in your entire assignment. Your content is animating, meaning I'm not saying the entire content is animating. Okay, there is some animation going on, some animation. I don't care what animation, but some case. I mean, like, if you want to animate the form, go ahead. Or if you want to animate like this DMV new license form, go ahead. But that animation should be there. If you keep the form static, that is also fine, great, because and if you animate this guy, then I will not be able to enter the values. So take your best judgment. Okay, user is able to see the content. If you choose a background of blue color and then your font color is also blue color, I will not be able to see anything. So choose your color wisely. And then all the three types of animations are captured. I want to see 2D and 3D transform. I want to see transition, and I want to see the keyframe animation. Anything, even like scrolling marquee at in the footer is also fine. You know, it's totally up to you, right? Like for example, I want to animate this guy, this entire UL, right? So what I'll say is I'll go here and I'll create a new keyframe. Keyframes, and I'll say scroll content like this. And what I'll say is at 0%, you know, I want to have a right of 0, and on 50%, or you know what, at 100%, I want to have the right 200%. Let's say that. Okay, now I'll create a new class. Okay, I'll create a new class which says scroll content like this, and it basically will take this animation, take care of that indentation. And by the way, in your assignment, be very careful about your indentations. And then I'll copy this, save it, save it, save it, paste it, save it, and change this to 20 seconds. Okay, and so now if I copy this guy, I will go back and target that UL and say class scroll content, and then I need to make sure that position is relative. Okay, when I save it, this guy is going to animate like this. Okay, maybe 200% is too much, so I'll simply say it 100%. Save it. Looks like even 100% is too much, but I'm going to wait till it comes back. Right? Come on. Right? It is doing like this. So or else I can do is I'll say minus 50% to 100%. Let's see. Let me save it. So the animation starts from here. and then this guy animates till there. So it's up to you guys. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how do you do it. So there is some sort of animation happening at the footer. But since these are links, you need to be very careful because user will click on this. So if you animate that, that clicking is going to be a problem for him, problem for the user. So you can have any other content below that, some text, and you animate that text. It's totally fine, but animate something. So I need to see all three types of animation going on. You are free to choose IDs and classes and whatnot, but make it clean, short, and basically wow me. Okay? Clear? Assignment is clear? क्या सबको समझ में आ रहा है అర్థమైందా యానిమేషన్ అంటే అసైన్మెంట్ ఏంటి you have today tomorrow complete day to do your assignment do this piece, and it should not take that long, right? So I want to see these 19 guys on Sunday to showcase your assignment. Okay, so adding CSS keyframe animation, git push origin master. Okay, whatever image you're going to download, put it in the folder which is under your name. Your assignment should be a separate folder. Put all the files inside that, and that is going to be cleaner. Okay, if anyone has any questions, please let me know. If not, then that is the end of this class. We will see on Sunday, and I'm expecting to see everyone's assignment. Okay guys? Okay then, see you guys. See you on Sunday. Alright, bye.